Today on Can Haz Armory, how to fix a wire pop out in a foil or epee blade. Okay, so here we have an epee with a slight wire pop in the front. If I bend it backwards, you kind of see the wire coming up right there in front of my chest. Now, there is a lot of glue on this blade, so how do we glue it back down? There is a way. You put my bending jig, first we mark where it pops out. Okay. So again, there's the pop out right there. So now I know between these tape lines is where the pop was. Verify that. Yep, that's a problem there. Now, with a pop out that doesn't have a whole lot of glue, if it's a foil pop out, I use the regular super glue I use. But for a pop out like this, where it's got a lot of glue on it and that glue's going to get in the way, I'm going to use the more watery version of Instacure, what's called more aqueous, and the idea is that that glue will get around the wire more. Now the downside of that is I got to make sure it's not going to get into the tip, so I have this so it's leaned back a bit, and I'm worried that if I put the glue here it may wick up into the tip. So I'm going to put some super glue accelerator up at the tip here as a preventative, and then I'll put the glue this down. It should be wicking around the excess glue. Accelerator, and it doesn't accelerate quite as fast as the gap filler. It's still kind of running down the blade. There it goes. So, and it should be set by now. I'll take it out. Okay. And see if you got glue back down. Yep, it's glued back down. Did not see the stress move down the blade and pop somewhere else. More time here. Nope, and it's not ready to rewire. Therefore, this is ready to go. I can go ahead and test it. And that is one way to fix the pop out in epee blade. The worry you have to worry about is too much glue coming up with the wire off the groove. Sometimes you also fix a pop here and the stress will move, and it'll suddenly pop down here. It wasn't popped before. You have to check and recheck, but this one is perfectly fine, ready to go. And now let's look at a foil one. Okay, so in this wire, it popped out in the back. Usually you pop out the front. This is a back pop. Putting it back is going to be much the same as anything else. The reason the wires pop is sometimes the glue fractures, and then it comes loose from the blade. It might not have been prepped properly. It might have been old glue, the wrong glue, the number of reasons, but the idea is get it back in. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark the extremities of the pop out with some tape. So it goes back to here, the back, and this front goes up to about here. I was a little past it. So now I know how much pop there is, and I can put it in my bending jig, and I'll actually probably pull the wire back down. Can't see me do it, but I have my normal wiring bending jig. And indeed pull the wire back in the groove. Now this one's fairly simple. It's down the groove. It's the forward pops that are a little more difficult. Get my glue out. Let's see, is my glue going to flow? Yes. Make sure it goes in the groove. Now on a foil blade, I'll just top glue it. An epee blade, it's a little different procedure because the groove's wider. There's that. And let's get my accelerator. Wipe it down. Don't need those anymore. Okay. Take it out of the bending jig. And it is not popped out. So get some of the excess glue off the top here. See it later. So that wire is fixed, not popped out. Let's go back into service. Now let's look at a foil with a pop out at the front. So here you have a foil with a wire pop. You can see from the front here, this is a pretty bad pop out. It's up and out and whatnot. Let's see if we can get this back down in here and put it in my bending jig and we'll take care of it. Okay, it's in the bending jig and I've got my my spaces marked. This is where the pop out is. Now this, because it's got several different pop outs, I'm not going to do it in one shot. I'm going to push down a little with my thumbnail and go in stage. So I'm going to put this one down here first. So that's pushed down. Now apply some glue. This is where I am using the gap fillers. I do not want it to wick up. And my bottle of accelerator and a Q-tip on that spot there. If I use the other accelerator, it would wick up the wire and I wouldn't be able to get the rest of it down. There's that. On to the next portion. As I push it down, other parts are popping up, so I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to go a whole lot of it. Go in small steps. As I push the wire down, this wire popped up because it's being pushed. So I'm going to do smaller bits here and there. Okay. Everything. Accelerator and a Q-tip. The last little bit here is popped up. Now I'm going to push it down. Now, because everything else is glued in, it can't pop up. Just going to make sure it's down all the way. Right there. Okay, it's down all the way. Let's put the glue. Now, this does leave a bit of a hump of glue, but I can scrape that off with a scraper, which we'll do in a second here. Okay, take that out. Any wire pop in here? There it is. I do not see the wire pop out. A little bit of fuzz on top, which is kind of caught in the glue. That's actually nothing. That's not the wire. That's some fuzz from the wire wrap, and so it's pushed up. So get this off. To my scraper. There she is. Get some of the glue off of this, see what happens. The biggest lumps off. Okay, put that away. My finishing pad. Okay. Just gonna get no pop-ups, and you can't see it, but I'm gonna do one last test. Okay, it's on. Grounds. Yes. Weight check. All done. So the reason I was checking it was because you can see it, but the wire, the exterior wrap of the wire had been stripped off. I was trying to make sure that the interior insulation, the varnish layer, was still on there, and it was between that and the glue, it insulated perfectly fine. Now there's no grounding, and the weapon is ready to go back into service. So that is how you glue down pops in the two weapons, depending on what part of the blade it's on. Happy armoring.